Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Ellis Show!
Thank you, everybody. It's great to have you here on the show. We've got a special topic today. As many of you are aware, if you've been watching the news, across the nation there's been a string of mascot attacks. That's right, those friendly furry animals that we see at the football games are going crazy and attacking the visitors. And so today we're going to get to the root of this problem and find out why it's happening and what can be done about it. Our first guest is Susie Sweetheart, a student who was recently attacked by Cosmo the Cougar at a BYU football game. Let's welcome Susie to the show.
Hi, I just want to say I'm the biggest fan. I watch your show every day, twice a day on weekends, and I have 36 hours recorded on TiVo.
It's only on once a week, so it's kind of creepy. But, Susie, you're a BYU student, right?
Yep.
Okay, and you've been going there for a while?
I've been there 2 years. I'm a sophomore, and I try and make every one of the BYU events because I just love BYU. And even with the recent events, I still love BYU.
Now, you were attacked by Cosmo the Cougar, is that right?
I was just walking out of a football game from the stadium, and there's a slow growl, and I turn around, and my knees buckle under me, and this thing pounces on me, and my friend Molly was able to take a picture of it.
I'm so sorry, Susie. Let's hear it for Susie. She's a fighter. Susie.
I just want to say that the only reason I'm here today is because I want to make this known. I want people to know about how terrible mascots are. And that's why I survived, and that's why I'm strong, because I just got to get the word out.
Thank you, Susie. Now, a lot of people question are these just isolated incidents, or is this a trend we should worry about? We have with us today Dr. Jim Kaiser, author of the New York Times best-selling book, When Good Mascots Go Bad, with us to help us understand this problem. Let's welcome Dr. Kaiser. Now, Dr. Kaiser, are these just isolated incidents, or is this a trend we should be worrying about?
Well, that's a really good question, Ellis. I'm glad you asked. In my book, When Good Mascots Go Bad, I talk about the fact that these are not isolated incidents. In fact, this is a growing trend which is causing much concern. I have a slide which shows the number of incidents in 1998 according to the U.S. Department of Mascot Social Services. And as you can see, there was only one attack in Texas that year. However, in 2008, that number had multiplied until there were 71 confirmed mascot attacks.
71 attacks. Dr. Kaiser, what could possibly make these cute, cuddly mascots act like this?
Well, it's a good question. You know, a lot of people think of them as being kind-hearted, and they really are. But you have to remember that they are wild animals. And when you take a wild animal and you bring it out of its natural environment and put it into a location where there's a lot of noise, a lot of action and movement, shouting, yelling, like at a football game, for example, that's just a recipe for disaster. Sooner or later, they'll get agitated and act out of kind and attack. As you can see up here.
Now, is Susie's case typical?
That's a really good question. Based on the pattern of the bruising, I would have to say, did he attack you with his right front paw?
Yes, he did. He did. Yes.
When a mascot attacks with his right front paw like that, it's indicative of a intentional attack. He knew what he was doing, and he intended to do harm in this attack.
He's right. This man is a genius.
Well, thank you, Susie.
Well, what should be done about mascots?
That's a really good question. I think that we have to remember, though, that we're taking them out of the natural alignment. That's not fair for them, and it's not fair for the spectators who get hurt by them. Really, the only viable solution is to ban mascots from sporting events. You know, that will help them to live their lives in relative peace, and it'll help us keep us safe.
Banning mascots. That's a bold, bold move. Some people don't agree with that. In fact, we had to look long and hard, but we found one person who doesn't even believe mascots are real. Let's invite John Blunt onto the show. So I understand you think that we're going a little far when we say we should ban mascots.
Absolutely, I think this is ridiculous. Mascots have been a part of college football and college sports since they started, and banning them is just absolutely that's ridiculous.
So, I mean, what's your view on mascots?
Well, the thing is, mascots can't attack because they're not real.
What, they're like people in suits or something?
Yes. Okay, so I'll show you. My first slide, we have Bevo from the University of Texas. This is a real Longhorn bull, correct? Everyone can see that? Now we also have the suit. That is a fake. That is not a real Longhorn.
I don't know, John. They both look like longhorns to me.
I think you got it right.
Are you kidding me? No, look. Fake. Real. Fake. No. You gotta be kidding me.
I really don't see the difference.
This is out of control.
So if they're not real animals, then what are they?
People, usually gymnasts, inside of them.
What, they like talk to you or something?
Yes, I've talked to quite a few. Unfortunately, I've talked to quite a few gals who both
Tough to mascot.
All right, fine. I have a picture then to show you mascots are people. Yeah.
That is obviously photoshopped.
Did you see the picture you put up earlier? Are you kidding me? That is obviously a real person inside a suit.
So what would you say to Susie then, who has these obvious injuries?
I would say she is obviously making it up, self-inflicted wounds, to get attention, to get a date,
I have no problem
to
with
get
Dave.
on the Ellis show. She's obviously a little obsessed with that.
Please.
I mean, this is ridiculous.
You know, I can't believe that you belittle the injuries that she suffered. There are obvious injuries here, and I don't think that we can dispute that.
This is ridiculous. A mascot cannot attack you because
Goodness.
it's not
What,
an
you think I'm
animal.
faking this?
Yes.
You think my heart doesn't feel this sort of pain? Look at my face. Can't you see my face?
This is out of control.
Okay. I think we're out of time for today.
Alice?
Thanks for coming to the Ellis Show. Tune in next week, and we'll talk about the dangers of fake eyelashes with special guest Lindsay Lohan.